There's one bottle on my shelf I almost never talk about, and it's the only one I've never stopped buying. Not because it changed my skin overnight. It didn't, because it's the only thing I own that quietly handles 4 things I used to buy 4 separate products for. Redness out of nowhere, pores I could see across the bathroom, the shine that had me blotting by lunchtime, and the marks my old breakouts left behind. Then I stopped treating it as an extra step and started treating it as the base. And 6 weeks in, I caught myself doing my makeup without covering anything first. It's niacinamide. On a label, you'll also see vitamin B3 or nicotinamide. Same thing. So, what it actually does, the strength to buy, and how often, the mixing question almost everyone gets wrong, and the things it can't do, because almost everything is not everything. No hype, no fake before and afters. Enough that after this one, you won't need another video on it. And stick with me, because what I believed about mixing it with vitamin C was wrong, and it cost me about a year. Skin Secret 1. It was never a spot treatment. Here's the mistake that made me quit it twice. I used it the way I used everything else. Something flared up, I reached for it, I waited for it to do something by Friday. Nothing happened by Friday. Bottle went in the drawer. Bought it again a year later, on someone's recommendation. Same thing. 2 weeks of watching my face for a change that was never going to arrive that way, and back in the drawer it went. Every other active I owned was trying to fix something specific. A spot, a mark, a line. This one wasn't doing that at all. It was making my skin better at being skin. Think of it like paint. Every active I bought was another coat of paint on a wall nobody had prepped. The paint kept peeling, and I kept blaming the paint. I wasn't missing a treatment. I was missing the prep. Skin Secret 2. 4 problems. 1 bottle. So here's what actually changed once I used it as the base, and I'm giving you the visible version, not the science version. The redness went first, and quietly. Not gone, but that hot, blotchy look after cleansing stopped happening, within about a month. Then the pores, and this is where people get sold a lie. Your pore size doesn't change. That part is how you were built. What changes is how visible they are, because they stop sitting there stretched and congested. Mine went from something I photoshopped out to something I stopped noticing. The oil settled too. Not stripped, not squeaky, just no more midday shine. And the marks. Old breakouts leave a shadow behind, and this works on those, slowly, over months, toward my own even skin. Not lighter than I am, just even. The way it looks when nothing has been sitting there healing for 6 weeks. 1 bottle, 4 jobs. That's the whole reason it earned a permanent spot. But the number on the front of that bottle matters more than I realized. Skin Secret 3. How much to actually buy. This is the part I got wrong the longest, and it cost me money. I started at 10% because more sounded better. My skin went red and tight inside a week, and I decided the ingredient just didn't work on me. It wasn't the ingredient, it was the number. The niacinamide range that works for most of us is 4 to 5%. Sensitive or easily set off, stay at 4. Skin that's handled actives before can sit at 5. 10% is real and it does exist, but it's where you go after a few months at 5, not where you begin. The bottle I bought first is still in that drawer. Format matters as much as the number, and this is where I wasted the most. As a serum, 2 or 3 drops on damp skin after cleansing. As a moisturizer with it already in the formula, just your normal amount, a pea-sized layer, and no separate serum underneath. Buying both is exactly how I ended up tight and red. Then the cadence. And this is the friendly part. Every day from day 1. No ramp, no building up. It isn't an irritant, which is the whole reason it plays well with everything else. If it ever stings or feels tender, use it less often, never more. In 3 years that's happened to me once, and it was the 10% bottle. One last thing about this bottle though. It was never meant to sit on your face alone. Skin Secret 4. It has no enemies. For about a year, I kept 2 bottles at opposite ends of my bathroom shelf. Like they'd fight if they ever touched. I'd read somewhere that niacinamide and vitamin C cancel each other out. So I did the sensible thing and ran them on alternate days, and then, of course, lost track of which day was which, and ended up using both badly for months. Turns out that whole idea came from an old lab finding under conditions that have nothing to do with a bottle sitting on your counter. In a real formula, they're perfectly happy together. And honestly, that's the pattern with this one. Sunscreen, moisturizer, salicylic acid, azelaic acid, vitamin C at 10 to 15%, retinol at 0.1 to 0.3%. I've used it underneath all of them, and it has never once been the problem. It doesn't really have an enemies list, that's the whole answer. Where I think it earns its keep most is under retinol. It takes the edge off the dryness that makes so many people give up on retinol in week 2, me included, the first time I tried. Both of those have their own videos, so I won't go over them again here. So the only rule left is order, and it's one line. After cleansing, before your moisturizer. One exception. If you use vitamin C in the morning, let that go on first. A whole year of keeping 2 bottles apart and they'd have been fine sitting next to each other the entire time. Your morning and night. Let me put the whole thing together because a routine you can picture is one you'll actually keep. Morning cleanse, then your niacinamide on damp skin, then your moisturizer, then sunscreen. If you use vitamin C, it goes on first and this goes over it. Night, cleanse, then this, then moisturizer. On the nights you use a treatment, a retinol, an exfoliant, whatever yours is. This goes on first and the treatment goes over it, and that layer underneath is the thing that keeps the treatment comfortable. That's it. One extra step, morning and night, that quietly does 4 jobs. The honest part. What almost everything leaves out. I promise no fake before and afters, so here's the straight version. How long does it take? Redness and that tight, dry feeling settle in about 4 weeks. Oil and how visible your pores look take about 8 to 12. The old marks are the slowest thing on this list, so give those months, not weeks. If you're 3 weeks in and feeling nothing, you're not failing, you're just early. This is a slow, boring, cumulative ingredient, and that's exactly what makes it work. What can it do? This is the almost in the title, and it's the honest part of the whole video. It will not clear active acne on its own. It calms things. It doesn't unblock a pore. It won't do what a retinoid does for lines. It won't erase deep pigment by itself. And it will not shrink a pore because nothing you can buy will. Anything promising you that is selling you something, can I use it forever and am I too late to start? Forever, yes, and I have. There's no window on this one either. It's worth starting whenever the thing it helps with is a thing you have. If you stop, nothing dramatic happens. You drift back to where your skin was before, slowly. It's maintenance, not a cure. So the serum that does almost everything isn't the one that fixed anything overnight. It's the one I threw in a drawer twice before I understood it, because I kept asking it to treat my skin, and it was never trying to. It was making my skin better at being skin. 1 bottle, 4 jobs, every day, underneath everything, and patient. Tell me in the comments which ingredient you want explained next. I read every single one. If this finally made your shelf make sense, a tap-on like helps YouTube show honest skincare to the next person still buying a 4th product she doesn't need. And if you'd rather understand your skin than keep collecting bottles, that's the whole reason this channel exists. Subscribing just means the next one finds you. I'll see you in the next Skin Secret.